Bonjour, and welcome to the Emma Watson-a-thon. This is the first episode, which means we're going to watch the first feature-length movie Emma Watson has ever been in, which is... Why am I pretending like this is some big reveal? It's obviously the first Harry Potter film. Anyway, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Yes, that is the real title. I will not be talking about the Sorcerer's Stone. That's not right, I'm sorry. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Now, I have seen this film at least a couple of dozen of times. I can actually remember the first time watching this. I don't remember exactly how old I was. 7 or something? 6, 7, 8, something there. We were going on a road trip. Mia and my brother were sitting in the back seats, and we had these built-in little TV screens in the back of the headrests of the front seats. And my mother was sitting in the passenger seat, so she had to choose which movie we were going to watch. She was going through the movies and she was saying like Toy Story, Monsters Incorporated, Shrek. I know, we've got a new one actually. It's called Harry Potter. Me and my brother had no idea what Harry Potter was. And she said, yeah, it's about wizards and something like that. And I was like, oh yeah, sure, that sounds interesting. Wizards, yeah, sure, put it on. And we watched the first Harry Potter film, dubbed in Flemish, of course, because that's the way it works here. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really cool story and world. And I don't remember exactly if we saw the second film after that, or if I started reading the books first. Ever since then, I've seen every Harry Potter film like every 2 or 3 years or something. It's definitely been a while since I've seen them all. I think the first one I saw last year, but before that it's been at least 3 or 4 years before I saw it. But anyway, it's a good movie. If anything, I think I'm going to find it a little bit boring just because I've seen it so often. I truly think that I know it by heart. Like maybe not every single line of dialogue, but every scene and what happens in every scene. I'm pretty sure I can write that down right now and be pretty spot on. And yeah, it's just iconic, isn't it? The music, the scenes. Some people like to complain about the child acting by Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson, and some people like to complain about the aged visual effects. But to be honest, that's never really bothered me, and I highly doubt it's going to bother me now. Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to it, especially to see the later Harry Potter films again, because that's been a while since I've seen them all. We have to start at the beginning, right? So yeah, I'm going to see it now, and I will be back when I have seen it. I'm back! I'm not really sure what I can say about this movie that hasn't already been said. I mean, it's great. It's really, really good. It's possibly the best movie about magic ever made. For the people who haven't seen this movie yet, in which case, how? Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone is about Harry Potter, an orphaned boy, who learns that he has magical powers, and he gets sent to a wizarding school where he uncovers some dark secrets. The story is great. It's not very complicated, obviously, because it is a children's film. And it's really magical and whimsical and all of those adjectives that end in "col." What this movie does more than its sequels is show just a bunch of different random things that happen throughout the school year. Like classes and conversations in the hallways, and just some establishing shots of the castle and of the owls flying by and the seasons changing, and I like that, and I think the sequels would have been a little better if they had done the same. It really sells this world. The characters are all great, of course, although I did notice I have a slight problem like disconnecting the characters from the actors. For example, Snape is Alan Rickman in my head, and I don't know if I would like Snape as much if it wasn't Alan Rickman playing him. But there's so many iconic characters in this film, so many characters I think even non-Harry Potter fans would recognize, like Hagrid, Dumbledore, Snape, of course Harry Potter himself. A critique I hear very often about this film is that it's not very accurate to the book. And that's always been a weird critique to me. Like, it's not the book. If you wanted to see the story of the book, you should read the book, right? This is another thing. This is a movie. Like, did you really want to see the entire sorting ceremony instead of the main characters? Anyway, I think the movie is still good, despite it being maybe not very accurate in places. It's not like it doesn't make any sense or anything, with the exception of one scene I feel, where Harry, Ron and Hermione just walk into the third floor corridor. Like, why? That shouldn't happen, right? If it's that important that students don't come there, maybe lock the door. It's all just because a staircase moved, and I think in the book it's because they're walking around at night, and then they get scared by Mrs. Norris, and then they run off into a random hallway, and that happens to be the third floor corridor. So that's one thing that the book does better. But apart from that, I think the movie is just as good. That little scene isn't a deal breaker at all. In my pre-thoughts, I also mentioned some bad dated special effects, and I did notice them while watching the film. It didn't bother me, but I did notice them. My brother, however, who watched some scenes with me, noticed that the special effects weren't that bad at all for a film from 2001, especially when you consider that all of the broom scenes are just basically all green screens, like, except for the actor and the broom itself, nothing is real. And yeah, I think they're pretty good for the time, but they're still a bit dated, but that doesn't bother me at all. I did watch it on DVD, and I think that sometimes Blu-ray versions can be a little tougher to watch with the special effects, because everything is clearer, so it's clearer where something's fake. So maybe the DVD helped in that aspect, I don't know. In my pre-thoughts, I also mentioned the child acting by Daniel Radcliffe, Rupert Grint and Emma Watson. And once again, I did notice it while watching the film. It didn't really bother me. Maybe a couple of lines by Daniel Radcliffe that were just quite bad. Like the, I can't be a wizard. I'm Harry. Just Harry. That was really tough. But I even think that the bad child acting from Rupert Grint and Emma Watson only elevate this movie. For some reason, everything Hermione says is so articulated and a little bit over the top, and it just fits her character quite well, I think. You're going to poke someone's eye out. Besides, you're saying it wrong. It's Leviosa, not Leviosa. That's just amazing. When Ron is like, she needs to sort out her priorities, that's great. I can't imagine that people watch this movie and think that the child acting is bad and that taking them out of the movie, it's hilarious. It's like, it's almost like, no offense to the actors in the film, I love it, but it's kind of like The Room, where every bit of dialogue is so over the top that it just becomes hilarious. But at least in Harry Potter it kind of fits with the story, at least in my opinion. And honestly, just everything that Hermione says in this film is iconic and I think has been a meme at some point. To be honest, I really think she's the best part of this movie. And to be honest, that is why I'm doing this marathon, because I don't think Emma Watson gets the praise she deserves for just anything. She does get a lot of praise, but I don't think it's enough. But yeah, I love this movie. I loved Emma Watson in it. I loved all the other actors as well. It's fun, it's magical, it's whimsical. The music is very good, which I haven't touched upon in this review at all, but it is really good. John Williams is just... So for all those reasons, I'm giving Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone an 8 out of 10. Thank you for being a childhood classic, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. And thank you for watching the first episode of the Emma Watson-a-thon. Next time I will be watching Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, so do join me for that, and I will see you then. Goodbye.